Have you with us for Breakfast Australia. Nice to have you along. Fiona Simpson has a big day on Tuesday. She's the LNP member, that's tomorrow, LNP member for Maroochydore and the incoming Speaker of Queensland's Parliament. She is the third female speaker, only the third female speaker in Australian political history, and she joins me now. Fiona, good morning and congratulations.
Thank you, good morning.
Even although I'm congratulating you, does anyone really want to be Speaker?
Oh, look, it's an honour, and I actually won't become formally Speaker for about another month when the Parliament resumes, as opposed to the Cabinet, who are executive appointments. This is actually a parliamentary appointment, so that still has to occur, but it's a great privilege to be asked to do this role.
It is a privilege and an honour, but does anyone really want to be Speaker?
Oh, goodness, I think so. Look, it's a very important role. It's a different role from the executive.
Yes.
And I think it's particularly important, given what we've seen with the recent election result, a very large election result to the executive government, that the role as Speaker is independent of the executive. So the parliamentary role is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very important job. But I suppose I come back to my original question, because I'm sure you wanted to be in Cabinet. You went into politics to make decisions. And to an extent, the role of Speaker is one separate from making decisions, isn't it?
Oh, look, it's fundamental to parliamentary democracy, and I had expected to go into the ministry, but when I was approached with this opportunity, I was delighted, and quite genuinely so.
Yeah.
This role, in respect to the Parliament, is important to ensure that all members, regardless of whether they're part of the government or on the non-government benches, gets a fair go. Now, I've sat in that Parliament when there were only 15 members of the opposition, and the balance was the other way. And I know how important it is for the Parliament to operate in a fair way, where people across the political spectrum have a right to have a say.
Yes. Will you have to be, given how the balance is completely skewed thanks to your phenomenal success, will you have to be fairer to Labor members in the House than you are to your own?
Look, being fair, that to me is a bit of a contradiction in terms.
It is indeed.
Being fair is about ensuring that in the way that you apply the rules, that you do it on the basis of ensuring members, regardless of parties, have a fair say. But there are some procedural issues we'll need to look at in regard to the balance. These are matters still for consideration, because obviously in the way that parliamentary business is actually defined and divided up across the parliamentary week, there are certain slots that are available for the executive, there are certain slots available for the whole Parliament, and the way that they operate, we need to ensure that there really is access for people regardless of which side of the political fence they're on, and that there's consideration of the non-government members in the Parliament.
It's just so complicated, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about, procedure. I would be so nervous if I was you right now. Like you say, you've got about a month. You have got, no matter how long you've been in politics, you've got to significantly upskill yourself, because the Speaker has to know more about procedure, really, than anybody else in the House.
And the rules do matter, but it's how you apply them and being aware of the dynamic in the House. Now, I am tasked with the challenge of ensuring that behaviour is appropriate in the Parliament, but that shouldn't be at the expense of people being able to take topics to the floor, because it is the People's House, and they need to be able to raise issues on behalf of their constituents, and issues that they may not be able to raise outside of the Parliament.
Every Speaker
so yes, there is a lot of procedure to learn as well. Yes,
every Speaker imposes their own personality. Are you going to allow a little bit of fun, a little bit of name-calling, a little bit of rudeness?
Oh.
Just a little bit.
Oh, how do I respond to that? Look, it is a place where you have to allow appropriate debate, but I think people have had a bit of a real concern about sometimes a level of personal ridicule and the abuse of Parliament as a place to personally ridicule people. In allowing good debate, it shouldn't be about ripping individuals down. It should be about ensuring that the issues are addressed, because that's what people expect their parliamentarians to do.
Fiona, I wish you all the very best. We will be watching closely. We watch the speakers more closely than almost anybody, almost more than the Prime Minister, more than the Premier. So enjoy the rest of your career. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll talk again.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, sorry.